Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar, and today we'll be talking about the end of quarter review for the stock market, the upcoming Investment Advisory Board agreement, and the opportunities to invest in Ankerstar Wealth. But before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. The first quarter of 2022 is now behind us. Did things go as you expected?
Oh, good morning, Allison. And I mean, frankly, no, right? They did not go as I expected. I thought, initially, we'll pull up the NASDAQ here and do a 6-month kind of look. We can do 3 months. There we go. The things sold off and overreacted to the downside a lot more than I thought they would, and especially in tech. So when you look at the first quarter, the S&P was off like 10 to 15% and recovered some. The NASDAQ, obviously hit bear market territory, and that's what we're looking at here. Went all the way down to a little over 20% off and then retraced that back halfway and is sitting, just a little bit below halfway there. So, this delivers us to a point of where we are down for the year and really going to be, I think I'm optimistic for the rest of the year, but we might be struggling to get back to even, if you will. Obviously, we're heavy into tech, and tech names have the ability to go back, to snap back a little faster than the rest. But, what caused it? First of all, it was the Fed raising interest rates. Was one thing that was a big headwind for the market. Second thing was inflation. Obviously, those two are somewhat tied, but not exactly tied. And then the third one, well, I guess with inflation also comes the great resignation, people not choosing not to work for lower paying jobs and seeking higher paying jobs. So there's lots of things that kind of rippled through the economy there, even though we have almost full employment. And then the third one, of course, was the Ukraine-Russia crisis kicking off. So it's continuing, if you will. So those three were kind of ugly at the beginning of the year for the first 2 months. A lot of uncertainty. Federal Reserve has handled things well, though, as far as clearly forecasting what they want to do for the rest of the year. And there's some hope in sight for the end of the conflict over in the Ukraine. Sorry. So we shall see, but I'm very optimistic that the bottom is definitely in. I don't think we revisit the lows that we had or really anywhere near them this year, but I think the market's going to flatline to /leak upward during the rest of the year as we start to have more of the interest rates, digest more of them, if you will.
Next, your Investment Advisory Board meeting is next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. What do you discuss during that meeting?
Well, I have the square behind me there instead of the normal morning square that I have. So the Investment Advisory Board meeting, these hang on the YouTube channel with everything else. So if you want to go back and check them out. But I have a sheet of paper in front of me where I basically produce and go over about 10 slides. I talk about the combined, it's just really reviewing Ankerstar Wealth and what we're invested in, and then talking about what we're going to invest in going forward. So I review our combined assets under management and assets under advisement. And I talk about, break that down for everyone. I talk about the standard investments that we have. We have 320 positions. In last quarter, we'll see if there are more or less coming into this quarter. I don't know yet. I haven't done the math, but all the way, equities, index fund, mutual funds, bonds, cash, and options. We talk about the alternative investments that we offer. There's 7 of them that we are in right now, and we're always looking for more. Obviously, building relationships throughout Texas and the U.S. as far as opportunities that are out there. We talk about the top 10 holdings that I have in the book, and generally pause a little bit on why I'm so excited about those. Otherwise, they wouldn't be the top 10. We talk about specific investment themes, and we don't go into a lot of detail here, but we at least talk about the different areas that we're trying to allocate capital into. So when you think of, a core and satellite type investment approach, you kind of have the core, which tracks the overall market, and then the satellite is where you get these investment themes and individual stocks that are really seeking that outperformance with, targeted areas where we want to allocate capital for things that are really going out and changing the world. We talk about some value opportunities. We also talk about some high risk opportunities for those that want a little bit more risk, and we'll talk about what worked and what didn't. So, and then I finally talk about the membership share valuation. I kind of run through how the stock price of Ankerstar Wealth is. It's kind of a separate story. And then last, I do a quarterly review, a quarterly forecast, a yearly forecast, a 1 to 3 year and a 3 to 5 year look. So we cover all those in about 35 minutes, and I open it up to questions. Again, April 6th, 7:30. If you'd join us again, would love to have you.
Last, Ankerstar Wealth also offers the opportunity to buy shares of the business. Can you tell us a little bit more of that?
Sure. Let me share out real quick. What you won't see on the YouTube channel is there's an investment, Ankerstar Wealth Investor Update that's here with this white panel, if you will. It's unlisted, right? I'm not going to hang that out publicly. I did in the past. I'm not going to anymore because, quite frankly, the business is growing fast enough to where I need to kind of keep that in-house now. But if you're interested, Ankerstar Wealth is an LLC taxed as an S Corp, which is a taxation structure. But it's also a member managed LLC where there are certain shares. You can, with LLCs in the state of Texas, you can sell membership shares, and I've done that with Ankerstar Wealth. If you're interested, 100 shares the minimum. That'll be right around $11,000. So if that, I'm not trying to talk you into it at all, and I'm not even going to give you any details today. But if you want to be a part owner of a financial firm, if that's something that interests you, you have to reach out to me directly, and then I will send you the link to this investor update, and that way you can kind of hear a little bit more about what I'm saying. There, I give you a little more inside baseball as to what it's like running a financial management firm, as well as some of the exciting new announcements that I made during this last one. Again, another one will be coming up shortly after the investment advisory board. So if that's something that interests you, great. If it doesn't, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I just want to let you know that it's out there and available.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar, and we'll see you back here Monday.